Good afternoon. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. I am Sarah, filling in for today in person, but Timo and I believe Alita are both online at Zoom, so we are all here together. I am here to convene the 5,642nd meeting. And with that, I welcome up Jody, who is giving us the thought of the day.
You just heard a traditional sound of the season. And this is a time to honor our traditions. One of a long time, wonderful Rotary tradition is our Easter Seals Christmas party this coming Thursday from 2 to 4. And I am fortunate to be married to none other than Santa Claus. My husband, Walter, took over the role of Santa Claus about 8 years ago, and I am his head elf. And together with Lisa and other Rotarians, we read Christmas stories to the children at Easter Seals, and their ages about 2 to 5. And Rotary sponsors Santa coming in, and each child gets to meet with Santa and get their picture taken with their family, and they get a book and a bag from Rotary. So it's a Rotary tradition to continue to give. And this is the first time since 2019 that Santa has been able to come in person. You may not know it, but there are Rotary rules for the holiday. The first one is to honor your family traditions. 2, believe. 3, when it snows, make a snowman. 4, give more than you get. As Rotarians, we all have helping hands. So it is the season to be helpful and to share and to give back more than you can get. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jody, and I will discuss the Easter Seals event again later in the meeting. I'm going to turn the so-called microphone over to Timo to give us the welcome and the state of the club.
Thank you, Sarah. Ladies and gentlemen, Rotarian brothers and sisters, friends, welcome. Greetings from DC. I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but at least I can see you and I see you are being fed. That's good. Can't believe it's been 6 months already of my presidency and it's almost over. I can see how my successors are lining up already. Alita with a big smiley on the screen today is always here to help out. So is Sarah, as she does today. They're real strong quarterbacks. I'm very grateful to have them. Well, where do we stand today? Let me just share a few highlights with you. We've introduced new things like music, the piano presentations. Those have been fantastic. We've brought back traditions. The other new thing is the birthday thing that we recognition of all the birthdays. It makes it more personal. We've gone back to traditions, the thought of the day. All of these things made our meetings this year a little bit more lively, and I think it's working out well. However, we have a little bit of a membership problem. The membership is steady, but we need to grow it. The good news is the board has a plan. We'll form a Rotary membership league, a competition of groups competing for the bigger number or higher number of new members. Then Ed has worked out a Rotary Club Accelerator program, and we can talk about those things more. So I'm hopeful that our membership numbers will go up and we'll have a very vibrant group. Now, member dues will have to go up a tiny little bit. For more than a decade, dues have been the same. And as you know, we have an inflation with higher cost. We also have higher Union League Club charges. We're in the process of calculating those, but we'll share that information very soon. By the way, kudos to Marshall Schmidt for championing the Union League contract. That's been signed, and now it's upon us to actually wire the money to the Union League Club and get our room 820. 820 is a larger room on the 8th floor, and we'll have our Rotary decoration there to make that room a real Rotary room. For those who are interested in this, in the decoration setup of the room, please speak to Marshall, Sarah, Alida, and me. Great. Kudos also to our service committees. The International Service Committee as well as the Community Service Committees have been doing a real rock star job. They are more active than ever, and they're very, very present in the community. I'm very thankful for a very dynamic board. I've been part of many boards, but this board bickers and argues like an old couple, but ultimately comes together and pushes in the same direction as a team. And this energy clearly percolates down into the club in our daily or weekly meetings. Finally, we'll be, we're expanding our network of sister clubs. That's something that will also enrich our programming, and that's a great development. The Paul Harris and Chess Perry Fellowship status will be updated in early 2023, so stay tuned there. And now I'm just looking forward to the second half of my presidency. With your help, we'll move this club in the right direction. I know that. Remember the fifth element of our four-way test. That is fun. Fun is the glue of our club, and fun we have. So I thank you very much, and I'm sorry I'm missing you today, but I look forward to seeing you very soon, at the very latest, at the belated January holiday party. Sarah, back to you. Greetings from DC.
Great, thank you, Timo. So next I'm going to call up Matthias to give us the treasurer's report.
Yeah, hello together. Thanks, Sarah. My name is Matthias Amberg. I'm the treasurer of our club currently, and I have the pleasure to talk a little bit about our numbers that you get a good overview. Can be just perfect. First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to Ed and to his team. Actually, they are preparing our numbers, the financial statements. We are reviewing them pretty much every month, and I can tell you that Ed can always answer all my questions I have on those numbers. So I think overall we are in a good shape. Yeah, in general, our numbers of the club are, I would say, stable. It could always be better, but I think we are okay. But there are certainly a few areas where we have to work on. Just to provide you with a few facts, and this is why I'm showing here our current balance sheet. You see here the numbers, the balance sheet pretty much as of yesterday, compared to the numbers end of June, so the end of our last fiscal year. And you can see that from a cash perspective, I think we are still in a pretty good shape. That comes in also with our cash flow, which is also fine so far. On the AR side, we have the entire amount we see here, over 8,000, is our membership dues, which are outstanding. So this amount is a little bit concerning because we are carrying in the moment quite a few members which haven't paid their dues for a longer time. So that's something where we will also work on to collect those dues. Other than that, when you look at the balance sheet, there's really not too much to talk about. I mean, we don't have big liabilities, so I think that's good. And just from a perspective year to date, from a P&L perspective, we show here, when you look at net income for the current year, a little plus. That is not 100% correct. As I said, the numbers are as of yesterday. Our meeting today is not included here. So we will probably, after the first 6 months, show a slight loss. However, I think we can plan pretty well our numbers. We have a good overview about our expenses, so we know what's coming there on the administrative side, what we pay for our meetings. The key area where we have to focus on is our income side. We get a good support from the foundation for our service projects, but the main area to focus on are, as Timo was already pointing out, our members, our membership dues. So very clear in the moment we are kind of on the break-even point with the amount of members income to cover all our costs. So I guess it's great to hear that we have a plan in place to increase our member base, because that will actually also put us in a much better financial position going forward. Any questions? Okay, I guess then enjoy your lunch.
Thank you, Matthias. So for the visitors, the guests, the prospective members that we have today, this is a really good meeting to attend, as you get to hear a lot of the ins and outs of our club. And so next is a series of committee reports, starting with community service. So I am the chairperson with Wes Westerfield of the community service. Is Wes on Zoom?
He is not.
Okay, so just to give you a little bit of an overview of what we've been doing the past several months, our small but mighty committee has worked very hard to provide hands-on service at least once a month. So starting in the summer, we did our second annual Chicago River cleanup by kayak. That's become an increasingly popular event, so I aim to continue doing that. It's messy, but very rewarding. We've also, because of our CPS grants program, we've been able to do a lot of community service involving the schools that have earned our grants. So for example, I went to the zoo a couple times with groups of fourth graders and younger, which is quite an experience to do that when you don't know your way around the zoo and everybody wants to go see the giraffes and you don't know where they are. We also have provided free little libraries to a couple of the schools. So Lisa Russ's husband very generously donated his time and materials to construct a free little library for 2 of our schools and installed them, and then the children painted them. I have not yet been able to procure pictures of that, but I know that they were installed and they are being used. In October, myself and Jody and Ted and I did the Meals on Wheels bingo. So that was an experience as well, and we also served them lunch. In November, we just had the preparation for Thanksgiving meals. So individuals helped Alita prepare food and then also deliver it. And then, as Jody mentioned at the top of our meeting, our service project for December is Easter Seals program. And again, I'll mention that again at the end of the meeting. You can find more information about that in the gyrator. Our CPS grants program will start up again in the spring. And so we will be soliciting grant proposals from CPS teachers. Our committee will go through them and award them. And with those comes a whole new host of volunteer activities. Lastly, to highlight our dictionary project. So I know Ted, you and Chuck just hit 3 schools in a day last week, right? So I think we've visited maybe 4 or 5 in the past few months. And this is specifically for 3rd graders. They get their own dictionary and there's a little program that we put on for them. So anyone who is still interested in delivering those dictionaries, please speak with me or Wes. Wes is really the person in charge of that. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Alita, who is on Zoom, to talk to us about Job 1.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out today. As Timo said, I wish I could be there in person, but love to see all of you all there. Our job one for committee, for people who don't know, our new members and visiting members, job one is the Rotary Club of Chicago's signature program that has been going on for at least 15 years. We work with Chicago area high school students that are juniors and seniors and pair them up for productive and mentorship opportunities with local employers in the city of Chicago. In the last year, excuse me, we had over 100 students apply to be in our Job One program. After training and going through applications, 20 students finished the program at the end of last year. We had 10 employers, with a new employer being Navy Pier. So we are looking to start up our committee again because applications need to start going out to our students and to the schools in the Chicagoland area. And we also need to start recruiting employers for the upcoming summer. So if anyone is interested in being part of that, we would love to have you. If you are interested in being a part of our training program, in which we do job readiness training for our students over 3 weekends during the spring. We'd love for that opportunity for people to be a part of that. And we are also looking for people who are that just want to be mentors to our students. We just think that's the best part of being a part of the Job One program, is helping them mentor them through their career goals and going off to college and what that looks like. So we are really excited to be for the upcoming year, and I look forward to hearing from people who want to be a part. Thank you.
Thank you, Alita. So next up will be Marga to talk to us about the International Service Committee. Is Marga or Shada?
We do not have Marga on Zoom.
Or Shada or
Shada.
Betsy?
Nope.
Is there anyone in the room or on Zoom who can give us an overview of what the International Services Committee has been up to? Well, okay. Are you going to speak, Ed? Because if so, you need to come to the mic. You can't speak from your chair. Otherwise, that's where I'd be. There. Okay, so Ed will come and give us an overview of the International Services Committee.
Yep. I was once the International Service Director back in 2005. And we did a lot of good stuff back then, and we're continuing to do a lot of things. So without specifics, they have global grants that they're supporting with other clubs. We're working on a lot of different opportunities that come about that give us an opportunity to service local international groups. And it's a very active committee. Typically about 15 or 20 people are engaged in that committee, and I highly recommend, because you'll want more than what I'm saying right now. So I would highly suggest coming out and being part of an international service meeting. I know they can do it virtually as well as in person, but any questions? Don't ask me a question. That was rhetorical. Oh, so this is more, yes, there's been a lot of donations. That's a great question. Thank you, Steve. There's a lot of things that the club has done and the district has done. And currently the district in particular has done a $400,000 grant, a $100,000 grant, a $125,000 grant, and has raised over $50,000, and not a big proportion of that, but probably at least $5,000 or $6,000 from members of our club. So we are having a significant contribution to that effort. In fact, I'll be sending a check or payment for 2 ambulances to go out to Ukraine at some point this week. Thank you, Steve. That was a great question. Any other one have a good questions that I can answer? Oh, Ted, come on. Yeah, go ahead, Ted.
Speaking of Ukraine, I helped Bernhard and Mark Smith and several other Rotarians pack up medical supplies that are going to Ukraine. And I think those are either they have gone out or they will be going out. But I think they're valued something like $50,000 or $60,000. They'll get there safely.
Yeah, and that's a great, Bernard has done amazing work as far as being able to organize some of
Ed,
this. And one of the things,
we can't hear the questions.
oh, I was going to repeat the question.
Thank you.
What Ted was saying is that Bernard had put together an effort to provide about $50,000 of medical supplies, and Ted and several others were out packing those supplies and sending them out. We do have a warehouse facility in the South Loop. I think that's where most of it happens. And one of the things that Bernard always asks is to have volunteers for that. So the last note I saw from him, he was very appreciative of the efforts that people were putting into that. But if you guys are interested in helping out Ukraine and other service projects like that, please connect either with International Services or with Bernard himself. Cool, thank you.
You know, from a teacher's perspective, you coming up here as a sub, you're very brave to ask for questions. Subs don't always know the answers. Okay, so we're going to move along in our agenda here with the membership committee. And speaking of subs, we've got Laura coming in today to give us an overview from the membership committee.
Thank you, Sarah. I will not ask for questions. So I'm Laura N. subbing in for Wayman, who is our membership chair. Our current membership numbers are, we have 131 active members, so that is good. And more importantly, we have had 13 new members this calendar year so far. That's great. As Timo mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, we are going to begin a membership competition soon. So look for an email because everybody in the club is going to be assigned a team. There's going to be 4 teams, and we are going to try and battle each other to increase our membership. So I'm looking forward to the smack talk that might be occurring with that. But hopefully we can all get on board for that program. The other thing I wanted to say is by a show of hands, and this includes people on Zoom, show of hands on Zoom. If you have been a member for less than 2 years, so if you joined after December of 2020, can you please raise your hand and hold it up? Less than 2020 of December. You're a new member. Yeah, I see some people trying to get out of this. So on Zoom, please raise your little Zoom hand. And I want our members to look around to who's raising their hands. These are the people we really want to connect with. So if you're sitting at a table with somebody who's been a member for less than 2 years, I ask that you try and get together with them, get to know them a little better. Let's make them part of our family because that's how we build our membership.
Perfect. And I think, Laura, you're one of the team leaders, right? Laura, you're a team leader, right? Yeah. Who are the other team leaders?
Aren't you one?
No. Is it Khaled?
It's me, Timo.
So
I believe
Alita,
it's
Timo,
Timo,
Laura,
and you.
Betsy.
So I will be on the team known as the Chicago River Rats. It's gonna get dirty.
And there will be a draft.
A draft.
Fantasy draft?
It'll be like a fantasy draft, exactly.
I'm the Chicago Purple People Eaters.
Alita is the Chicago Purple People Eaters?
Yep,
I must have misheard. Is that what you said?
that is what I said.
That's the team name.
What are the other team names? Timo, do you have a team name?
The A team.
The A team. And then we'll have to wait and see what Betsy's name is. Okay, well, let's move on then. Neetha, I saw her walk in. So Neetha is going to come up and give us 2 reports, one for the PR marketing and then one for the DEI.
Okay, great. Thanks, Sarah. So I'm doing this on behalf of Mark Smith, who just welcomed a baby girl. I just learned the name, Sloan. So we have a new baby Rotarian. So we have been actively continuing the things that have worked. So I just put some of the pictures there highlighting what we've done. And actually that is one picture of the International Service Project, the Ukraine packing up medical equipment to send to the Ukraine earlier from Evanston and transporting it to a place near the airport. And then we're still posting and spotlighting speakers and guests, and as well as we are just putting more focus on the members also to the gyrator, Rotarian Reflections. Has anyone ever read a reflection before? Rotarian Reflection, anybody know what I'm talking about? This is the one that is on the website, but also it's a chance to share your story. Even if it's a new story, we'd love to add that on the website and also on the gyrator. It's nice to hear what connects us and also what's unique about you too. So we also had this time, we had one from Alejandra Canseco, who's, I think she's not online today, but she did a wonderful reflection of her grandfather, who is Carlos Canseco, who is the one who started a past international president who started actually the Polio Plus project. Yes. Yeah, funny who we happened to be sitting next to. I had no idea when I asked her to do a Rotarian reflection that is her story. I started with, do you have a family member in Rotary? What made you start? And then I stumbled upon this information. So we really, I mean, I hope to have a lineup of everybody in the room to do that. So please let us know. And then we're continuing the social media updates, which are continuing to grow the numbers on all the platforms. So the Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. So we still want people to reshare. So that's in the highlights, like what we really want still is for people to repost and share, because then your network also sees it as well too. And then also, of course, the Rotarian reflections. And then we also did feature the diversity event earlier this year too. So any special events, and if you want anything also highlighted, just let us know. Let Mark and myself know. So even you know, anything that you want as like a month that we don't know about, that's important. Let us know as well too. So we always need ideas and input from the members too. So that is for PR marketing parts, and again, that's on behalf of myself and Mark. And also, very much, I wanted to thank the CAM team, because without them, none of this is happening. So they are the ones behind the scenes doing all these updates. So Shelby and Katie working very closely, and then of course Ed and Tamara too. So thanks for that with the gyrator as well too. And then the DI committee report. So we have also a committee. It just started this year, so it's a small committee. We welcome others to join as well too. So Alejandra and Hervé were on earlier, and then Ryan, who's I think a new member for our club, joined as well too. So we learned a lot from our conversations, and it's just a start. Again, this is a collective one that we want to hear input. So highlighted, you see some pictures of some event that we did on October 7th, so the National Diversity Day. We did an event with Maywood Proviso Club and also with Aurora Sunrise. So had a conversation at one of the district conferences and then put together an event, and we want to continue that. So hopefully we'll be able to do one here in the upcoming term and then in Aurora Sunrise, because we also get different ideas. And we had Ade, our district governor, at the event, and also Osai, past district governor, Alida, our upcoming president, featured at that event too. Really hearing about, you know, what's working and then where we can grow and grow in all ways, so membership included. So what we want to do is to also spend some time reviewing that survey that we did with the district, and then also what's relevant for our club also too, with Alida, since Alida and Osei as the co-chairs of that district committee, and of course also with Timo. So and working with also Timo on this upcoming one too, because we had also the Maywood president speaking at the last event, so we'd love Timo also to speak at this one. And I believe, yeah, and those are the highlights. Any questions on that? So this is a new committee. We meet on we're meeting on Mondays. I believe it's the fourth Monday, and then and the PR marketing, we're meeting on Thursdays, the third Thursday. And also we learned a lot about accessibility, because one of our committee members is visually impaired. So we learned also the importance of reading our slides. also too. So continuing more in that front. So it might be also focusing on accessibility too. So. Any other questions? Okay, handing it back. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. And yes, I think that we should all give our thanks to the CAM team. They really help us do things that you just can't even imagine. The response time is very, very fast, and we're all very grateful to them. So a sidebar, I've been thinking about this Purple People Eaters thing. So Ed, you came up with the list of names. Does that mean you're familiar with the song about the one-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater? That's really the only lyric that I remember, but you're probably surprised I know it at all, right? Like, how many people in the room know the Purple People Eater song? Anyway.
That's the only line I know too, so.
So yes, that's been on a constant loop in my head, but just that one lyric since we talked about it. So I'm now going to turn the microphone over again to Timo to introduce Alita and then also Marshall. And so Marshall, well, Alita will do the annual campaign report, and then Marshall will do the Rotary One Foundation report. And then, am I also correct that Marshall, are you going to discuss the nominating committee? Yes. Okay, so I will turn it over to Timo.
Well, friends, Alida needs no introduction. Everybody knows her. She's our president-elect. And in that capacity, she is in charge of our annual campaign. And I think at the last board meeting, Alida, we came up with a new concept. You want to present that?
I would love to present that. Thank you, Timo. Hi, everyone, and new and old members and visiting members again. After many discussions with other members and myself and Sarah and other people, we have decided to moving forward, we will not have a formal annual campaign every year. We are going to ask members to choose their donation that they would like to have, that they would like to be billed for every month at whatever increment works for their budget. When we, in your membership application and in the duties of membership, we do ask that members try to donate at least $1,000 a year to the Rotary Foundation. And we just feel that there's just so many things that are constantly being communicated and that are out there, that this is one thing that we could really kind of set it and forget it, that you all can set what your contribution is going to be for the year and know that it's going to happen every month. And then you don't have to listen to me come up every Tuesday and beg you for money. It's already set and it's already done. But we also think it's just the easiest and the most efficient way to do it. And at the end of the year, our wonderful CAM team will send you a letter letting you know how much you donated that year toward the foundation. These donations are so important to how we run our club. They're so important to what we're able to do in our club. Every dollar that we give to the foundation and enables us to do the great work that we do in the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois and in this country and across the world. So, you know, I know the dues that we pay, you know, help run the club. To do the things that we do, that's the donations that we do in the foundation. The foundation gives us an allocation every year that helps run the club and gives us the money that we have in order to do all the work and all the donations and things that we do throughout the year. So please be sure to take the time to look at what you can really afford, what you would like, how much you would like to give to the foundation, and reach out to CAM. And the website is going to be updated with those forms, which will also be emailed out to everyone. Thanks, Cam. I love you all. To let you all choose what your allocation is going to be, how much, if you would like it to come out once a year, just one lump sum. If you would like to do it monthly, which is what I'm going to do, it's a lot easier for me to break it out over the year. And I'm able to give a little bit more when I do it that way. It's just the best. This is what we found, we thought would be the easiest way for us to do it. So if you have any further questions or comments about that, I am open to questions, and you can also reach out to me personally. Thank you.
Now, Alida, if I may just add on to that, for those in the room who inquired about the donations for this fiscal year, the calendar year, feel free to cut that check now, and we'll implement this program very soon.
You can hand them straight to Tamara or Ed in the room. And I think next up is Marshall.
Oh, Marshall, you're muted.
Okay, is that better? Can you hear me now?
We can.
Thank you. So, thank you very much for that, Alida. Gail, my predecessor in the role as chair of the foundation, stepped down. She is transferring her membership because she lives up in Lake Forest, and it was just easier for her to continue her Rotary journey at another club. So I stepped in a few months ago to chair the foundation, which is doing exceptionally well, and especially under challenging times. It's a busy time for the foundation because January is the time when we typically set the allocation for the distribution for the following year. We look at what is in the corpus of the foundation, and then make a determination as to how much can be allocated for projects that year, with the goal being to optimize the amount of money that goes towards service projects while protecting the future of the foundation. As Alida touched upon, the foundation is essentially financed by contributions during what was the annual campaign, and will now be something a little different. But it is exceptionally important that the membership and others that we can attract to make the donations, because we do also receive donations from outside. One of the largest donations we ever received was from Charles Walgreen in his estate, which forms a significant portion of the current foundation. So please really give generously when you decide how to contribute to the Rotary One Foundation. I have one suggestion, Alida and Timo, for this new scheme with not having a formal campaign, but encouraging people really to give, to make their commitment up front during the Rotary year, and then pay it off during the year, or pay it all at once if that's more convenient. And that is, although we don't want to have a formal annual campaign, I do think it makes sense in the gyrator every week to put in information about how much money has been collected by the foundation to date, and how much we project we will receive by the end of the Rotary year. That way, no one needs to get up and at every meeting and harass people for more money. But it would be nice for the membership to know how much money is flowing into the foundation, and to the extent someone sees that money going into the foundation and is not currently giving and would like to give, or would like the number to be higher, it gives, I think, the membership a way to judge what they can do to help. So that would be my one suggestion. If anyone would like to talk about the foundation, please feel free to reach out to me. The one other development on the foundation is that with the tragic passing of John Wilhelm, who was a trustee, we're recommending to the board to approve at the next board meeting Jody Sandifort, a longtime member of the club, to replace John as a trustee on the board. Jody has a lot of experience with grants in the club in particular, and so we thought she would be a very good addition to the board of trustees. And with that, I will conclude the foundation report unless anyone has any questions. Okay, so let's move on to the nominating committee report. You're going to hear more from me than you ever thought possible. And I do apologize for not being there in person. I was planning on coming, but last Thursday, COVID had another idea in mind. So I'm at home recovering from COVID and quarantine, but doing well and but missing you all in person. So Marga asked me to co-chair the nominating committee this year because she has been very busy traveling in her her immediate post-presidency year. She's resumed her globetrotting activities, and she may not be here today because she may be in some other time zone or another hemisphere. So we put together a committee of Bob Westrup, Marga obviously as co-chair, myself, Chuck Grovey, and Cheryl McIntyre, and one other person who I'm forgetting. I apologize. Tony, yeah, Tony McHale. I'm so sorry, Tony McHale, and we had several meetings, and actually things very much fell into place. We had several spots to fill. For those of you who are not familiar, we have a board of that rotates. So half the board comes up in any given year. The terms are 2-year terms, but they're staggered so that we have continuity on the board. We generally have a policy that people cannot serve more than 2 consecutive terms as board members. In addition to selecting the incoming board members, we also select the officers of the club, which include the president designee, which is the person who is kind of last in line in the order of succession, the treasurer of the club, the secretary of the club as well. And so we put together the slate, which you see before you. So Alita moves into the presidential slot as of July 2023. Sarah moves up to be president-elect. The president nominee this year we're recommending to be Laura Inns, who will become president in 2025. Matthias has been gracious enough to agree to continue to be the treasurer. He's done a wonderful job. Robert Harney will be the secretary. He is also going to be serving a second term as secretary. The new members on the board are going to be Shada Calderwood, who's a longtime member, very active in the club. Neetha is returning to the board as a director, as is Ted Neville, and then Rolandis. And although Marga is very good at that last name, I am not, so I will leave it at Rolandis. He is actually a former district governor from Lithuania, so he has a lot of experience in Rotary and has been very active in our club since joining several years ago. Sean Stringer will be another new director. Sean is relocating back here from Michigan. He's a longtime member of the club who maintained his membership, but moved to Michigan for several years, and now he's moving back. The way this works is that the nominating committee is charged under the bylaws with presenting the slate to the membership. There's then a 30-day, at least a 30-day period during which members can add additional nominations as they see fit. And then the membership votes at a regularly scheduled meeting on the slate and on the additional any additional nominations that are submitted. The one kind of variation this year is that typically the way this happens is the final approval is done at this meeting, but because of a lot of different factors, we were unable to get you the slate before the 30-day cutoff. So, and the bylaws also require that the approval be at a meeting before the end of the year. So what we are recommending is that the slate be presented, which it has just been presented to you, and that the annual meeting technically be adjourned but not ended, that it be actually continued until I believe it's January 17th, which will be the next regularly scheduled meeting. Let me make sure I've got that date right. Yes, it's January 17th, which will be the next regularly scheduled meeting more than 30 days after today. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know. If you have any additional nominations, you can submit them to me or you can submit them to Ed, and we will make sure that the club is notified of that. But I open the floor for questions about the nominations or the nominations process. Okay, I want to thank the committee, and I also want to thank all of those people on this list for agreeing to serve. One of the great blessings we have in this club is that there are very capable leaders who are willing to step up every year. And because of the way this works, it is really a pipeline that has been quite extraordinary over our, over 100-year term, that we can continue to have leaders of this quality year in and year out. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Marshall. And congratulations to those who've been listed on our proposed slate. We need to move forward. We have 2 new members that we are inducting today. So Alita is going to be reading the induction from Zoom, but I'm going to invite Kia and Alex to come up and stand here. I will get out of your frame, and Alita will be reading, and I will be doing the pinning, which I like to say, it just reminds me of 1950s Bye Bye Birdie. We're doing some pinning.
Hello, once again, everyone. Alexander and Kia, thank you for coming to the front. And it is my great pleasure on behalf of the Board of Directors and the members of the Rotary Club of Chicago to welcome each of you as a member of Rotary One. We welcome you not only for fine fellowship that we shall share, but also for your talents, abilities, and enthusiasm that will help us to carry out our many projects to make our community, our country, and the world a better place in which to live. Rotary is not a political organization, but all Rotarians are vitally concerned with everything pertaining to good citizenship and the election of good men and women to public office. Rotary is not a charitable organization, yet its activities exemplify the charity and the sacrifices that one should expect from people who believe that they have a responsibility to others. Rotary is not a religious organization, but is built on those eternal principles that have served as the moral compass for people throughout the ages. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people pledged to upholding the highest professional standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide fellowship and international peace can be achieved when business people unite under the banner of service. Each of you has been chosen for Rotary membership in the Rotary Club of Chicago because your fellow Rotarians believe you to be a leader in your profession, and because you manifest the intelligence and the commitment of heart that fit you to interpret and impart the message of Rotary. You are a representative of your profession in this club, and any information of educational value pertaining to that profession must naturally come to us through you. At the same time, you become an ambassador for us to your profession, and we rely on you to carry the principles and ideals of service which we here inspire to those who share your professional activity. The community will know and judge Rotary by your embodiment of it in character and service. And we accept you as a member because we know our principles and organization will be safe in your keeping. We also expect you to give us the inspiration that will help us to become better Rotarians. And it is with this hope that I ask that Sarah to invest you with the distinguishing pen of a Rotarian and gladly offer you the right hand of Rotary Fellowship. Congratulations.
Sure. Yes. All right, where would you like it? Here, off my heart. Perfect. Okay, can I go? Sure. Okay, one more. Where would you like it?
Anywhere's good. Here's just as well.
Is it okay?
Yep.
Here, oh. Here's okay?
Yep.
There you go. Thank you. So we can, we would like to hear from you. So maybe take a minute for each of you to explain to us who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Everybody here will get to know me well enough in the future. I only have one thing to say. My name is Kia Rowbottom, and in the words of Jay-Z, Mama, I made it. Thank you for welcoming me.
Thank you, Rotary Club, for accepting it. It's truly an honor to be part of this wonderful organization. I've gotten to know this organization through my involvement with Ukrainian Medical Association and the aid and the medical aid we have provided. So somehow we got connected with the Rotary Club, and the effort that you guys have extended has been nothing short of phenomenal. You asked a couple of questions about the Ukrainian folks earlier, and the aid is flowing. And right now, the biggest focus for us, of course, is generators. With the Russians having taken out all the infrastructure, now is life and death situation on just about every corner. With that said, I came to this country in 1989 as a refugee from a former Soviet Union, and I've been Ukrainian by marriage for the last 20 years or so. So this is how I got involved in Umana. So again, thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to being a part and being a bridge between the Umana and Rotary, and also contributing to the society. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. We are glad to have you. So moving on with our agenda is introduction of guests. We'll start here in the room. Do we have any visiting international Rotarians in the room? Do we have any visiting U.S. Rotarians in the room? Yes, I believe Tamara has the microphone? Who has the microphone?
Hello, I'm Pooja. I'm actually a Rotarian in Nevada, and Reno. I'm actually in the Young Professionals in Midtown Reno, so we have a little Midtown area, all young professionals. So yeah, I do bring down the age average of this group by like only 10 years. But yeah, so a little bit about me. I'm actually here professionally for a conference called the American Geophysical Union. So full-time, I am a geologist. I'm getting my PhD in geology, and that's kind of the direction I'm going. My project is in geothermal and mining exploration efforts, post-rock recovery. So I don't actually go in the field and try to pinpoint. I wait for them to drill all the rock, and I'll be like, I'll take a look at that. So that's what I do full-time. And some fun facts about me, I brew my own beer. I'm a home brewer. I've won a lot of competitions locally, so nothing nationally. I am a third-generation Rotarian, so my grandfather was in Rotary, my father's in Rotary, and I am in Rotary. I was involved in Rotaract, RILA. Yeah, it's a big part of my life. And I think that's it. I own a cattle dog. We love each other, and I miss her a lot. So Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Are there any other visiting U.S. Rotarians in the room? Oh, here. Wait, speak into the mic so the Zoomers can hear.
No, I'm not a visiting Rotarian. I'm just visiting my club here again because I'm mainly now in Germany and visiting also their local club in Osnabrück, joining there and going to meetings. But I just wanted to say hello to everybody here again, where I didn't have the chance in person to say hello. And it always feels great to come back to my club here in Chicago and also coming back to Chicago at this time of the year. It's just a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome. In the room, do we have any guests of Rotary in the room?
Yes.
Oh, hang on one second. We have lost our mic.
Hello, everybody. My name is John O'Toole. I was a former Rotary member. I had to drop out when I was established.
We lost the microphone again. If you'd like, you can come up here and use
How
this
about,
one.
how about now?
Okay.
I think I'm just going to hold my finger on it. That'll work. But it's great to come back. I've seen some of my good friends again, and I'm looking to rejoin and participate.
Yeah.
One thing you should note about me is I'm a devoted White Sox fan. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other guests up here, I believe?
I'm not going to hit the red button. Hello, good afternoon, Rotary One. My name is Shani Jarrett.
So come up here, because otherwise the Zoom people cannot hear you, and we don't want them to feel left out.
Okay, as I stated, good afternoon, Rotary One. My name is Shiny Jarrett, like shiny, like a shiny coin. I am the fabulous guest of wonderful, short-winded Kia Rowbottom, who just got inducted into this Rotary today, and I'm just grateful to be here. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Perhaps we will be at your induction ceremony soon. On Zoom, do we have any visiting international Rotarians on Zoom? If so, you can unmute. Are there any? I am not hearing any. Do we have any visiting
We
US?
have, Sarah, we do have Derek.
Okay.
Yes, hello. Hello. My name is Derek, from tuning in from Kampala, Uganda, and I'm very glad to be here this evening. And of course, hearing what Russia One is doing around the world. And yeah, very welcome to the new Rotarians and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for joining us today. Do we have any other visiting US Rotarians on Zoom? Visiting US?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yes, it's Mike Theodore here. I'm the co-president of the Rotary Club of Chicago Lakeview, and in my third year of serving as the assistant district governor for this club. Always great to check in to hear all the great updates on everything that's been going on over the past year. This club is really doing great things. I'm excited to hear about the service projects and the various updates, and this club is really continuing its legacy as a leader for the district. So I'm really happy to see that. Also, congratulations to everyone who stepped up to be in a leadership role for the next year. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person whenever I can come by to another club meeting soon. And that's all I got.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Any other guests on Zoom? Guests of Rotary? Okay, so then I'll proceed with our announcements. So this, I think, is the third time that you've heard about the Easter Seals holiday party that's happening on Thursday. So it is this Thursday, December 15th, from 2 to 4. You've got the address there in the 1300 South block of Racine. It's just south of Roosevelt. So if you wish to volunteer, you can sign up in the gyrator or on the calendar. You'll come to the Gilchrist Marchman Child Development Center where the children will be. And there are a lot of activities that are happening. One of the main purposes of the volunteers are to read stories to the children. So the children are waiting to go see Santa. And when they go see Santa, they get their picture taken. I believe that they get a gift bag with a book as well. But while they're waiting to go, the volunteers are in classrooms reading stories. And so each classroom has a bookshelf. And you just go in there and you ask, which book do you want me to read? And they'll pick one. And that's basically what you will do. And you'll also get to meet Santa if you're lucky. So please, we have a few signed up already, but we can always use more. So that's this Thursday from 2 until 4. Other announcements, there are no club meetings or roundtables until the week of January 9th. So make sure that you check the next gyrator, which will be sent out on January 3rd, as well as the club website for upcoming meetings and club committee activity. So the gyrator goes out on Tuesdays, but you can also find it on the Rotary One homepage. Also, you need to save the date for the Rotary One birthday party fundraiser. So this year, well, next year, I guess, is Thursday, February 23rd of 2023. The location is still to be determined, but we're going to try not to have a blizzard this time, right? So anyone who came last year, it was a really, really great snowstorm is really what it was, but it was a wonderful, wonderful party. We're still talking about it. So save the date, February 23rd, no blizzard. On each of the tables, you'll see piggy banks. Some of them are dogs or elephants or whatever. Please feel free to drop some coinage in there. All of the donations will go to the Rotary One Foundation, and the money that is dropped in there is also matched by Timo and Bob. Lastly, we are still trying to get people to submit a member minute. So anything that, any good news that you'd like to share, like we heard about Mark already from Neetha, but any good news, any photos that you would like to share in an upcoming gyrator, please send that in to Tamara. So if there are no further announcements, I think that we are ready to do the four-way test. So let's go ahead and rise up and we will go through the four-way test. And then Timo can add in the fifth one. Already did. Okay, so this is the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Number 1, is it the truth? Number 2, is it fair to all concerned? Number 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And number 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And then Timo's fifth.
Number 5, will it be fun?
Yes, of course, because look at us, right? How could it not be? So with that, I wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We won't see each other for a few weeks, but I hope you have a happy and safe, I almost said Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. I turned in my grades this morning, so I don't know what's going on with me. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I will adjourn this meeting at this time.